Hello. Okay, I'm nervous and I love that. I can do this. Okay, hi. Today I want to share something about, yeah, I already talked about my aunt getting the diagnosis of terminal brain cancer. And that, was when I was 2 months done with my treatments, and I just started going to work again, and I achieved my diploma, my degree, and then this news came. And that's my worst nightmare. And now seeing it from that close, because I knew what it meant, because when I had the first time cancer, I didn't know what it was. So I looked on the internet, I searched for, okay, which kind of types breast cancer are they? Okay, if I have this type, then I will have this treatment, and it can evolve to this one, or I just checked everything out. So when I was with the doctors and they said like, okay, this is this type, we have to do this, it was like, okay, I'm prepared for this, I already know this, so what's next? So that I was strong when I was with the doctors, I cried, of course, at home, and all seeing all these horrible things, because if you can't filter, then looking up is something very, very bad you can do. But because I searched for so much in my first process, I knew like terminal cancer, there's nothing they can do. They can try, but there's not much hope. So it was like my worst nightmare, and now seeing it from that close, it was terrible. But I didn't think, and I just went to her, and I tried to help her in her process. What was very hard for me, because not only it was my worst nightmare, because of that I was like, every pain I felt in my body, it was like, oh no, it's back, no, oh no, I don't. So I went to the doctors and asked, you need to do a scan to look, because I have pain and maybe it's back. So I was always in fears, like it will be back with me. And then my aunt started her process, and we did everything. She did chemotherapy, she did radiation. First she did the operation, taking the tumor away, so it was away, and most of it was away. The chemotherapy, radiation, but after months they didn't have any treatments anymore, and it was just back as before, and even bigger. So it was like we didn't know what to do anymore. And in that period, it was so difficult for me to stand by her, but I wanted, and I did, and there I started with I already had medication from my chemotherapy. I couldn't sleep, so I had sleep pills, antidepressant, and not antidepressant. I had sleeping pills and calming pills, but I used them not much. But during the period of my aunt, I started using them, because I couldn't handle the pain. I felt so powerless. I wanted to help her, but I couldn't, because she was going to die, period. There's nothing that I could do about that. But and it was my worst nightmare, seeing it from this close. So it was like two big things, and then all my process, every step in her process, and every step that she was getting worse, it was also getting worse with me mentally. Like I can't see this, I can't feel this, I have to be strong, but I can't. And that's why when my addiction of pills started growing, and each time I took more and more and more, and I just became such a zombie. But I needed it because it was too painful, and also my fears. I couldn't. And then at one point I felt something in my I don't know how you call it. And yeah, they weren't sure what it was, so they took a biopsy, and it was like, no, it's my turn, and I felt so much fear. Eventually it was scar tissue, luckily, but in that moment, then you have to wait, and and all these things building, and also my aunt again, like, okay, she hasn't there were no treatments in this hospital, so there was one other place she could go, like it's like a test therapy. So it was her last chance, and yeah, it was horrible. But she tried without doubting. Of course she did. She was a lion, and she put everything of her in that battle. But seeing that she was losing, I couldn't handle it. And I was so scared that I had to go through the same. But yeah, I wanted to be there for her, and I did. I went to her to the hospitals, holding her hand when she was scared to go into the MRI because she's claustrophobic. And I hold her, and then she was calm and she could stay, and yeah. But it was in the last hospital that I saw, like, before she was always strong, but she couldn't, at that point she knew she was losing, and she was scared, and she cried for me the first time, and I was like, I can't say it will be alright. At that point my awareness wasn't big enough. I just knew the medical world, so I couldn't say like it will be alright for me. It was like, because with the knowledge I knew at that point, I knew she was going to die. So what do you say at that point? And that was, it was just so hard. But I just was there for her and comforting her, and like holding her. But yeah, seeing all this pain of her, my pain was building also, and so my addiction was growing. And at the end I was just I took so much calming pills and sleeping pills, and I was on antidepressant, and I just became such a zombie. And I slept a lot, and and my body was very skinny, and I couldn't eat, and I was so stressed. At one point I had to stop to help myself, because I was very bad, and I was with my aunt to some appointment, and that's where I said to her, like, aunt, it's really bad with me. But I couldn't say, because I was losing her, my fears, it was just, I said, also with my hair, it was that period that they just said, like, it will have a big back. So I said, it's because of that. Because I couldn't say it's because of you, because you're going to die. I couldn't say that, because people tried to talk about her with that, but she didn't want to listen. I understand that, but she closed off that people, and so it was like, okay, we avoided that conversation. So I said to her, I need time for me, because I'm it's not normal that I'm like this. It's so I needed some rest. So I thought, like, maybe, okay, I will do a month not relax, but like calming down and see it myself, and going to therapy, and yeah, and she understood, of course, because she also saw I was like very skinny and but yeah, in that month she she was getting worse very fast. Then she was in the hospital, and the hospital, yeah, of course, I felt a little bit okay then, because yeah, the hospital is there, so she has help from the hospital, but the hospital can't do anything. So eventually she went to, yeah, I don't know how you say it in English, hospice, or yeah, where you can, yeah, it's a department when they take care of you, and like the last days of the last week of your life, and then she moved to there, and yeah, I visited her, but I wasn't present because I was numbing myself. I was just, because I couldn't see it. It was just my worst nightmare. But I took my courage and I went. And then the last day was very tough. Yeah, till our last breath. I said, yeah, you have done everything. You can go. It's okay. And that's where she took her last breath and she was gone. But then you don't have time to grieve, or it's just, okay, now the funeral and just arranging all this stuff, and then her son, and yeah, all everything. But with me, afterwards I just went in a depression because I felt so guilty. Like the last month I took care of myself, and that's where she went very fast back. So it was another process that I need to deal with. But yeah, my addiction, it was just so big. I just became a zombie in that period, like taking more because my body was getting used to it. But for the outside world, I just hid it because no one knew this. I was ashamed of like what I'm doing, but for me at that point it was the only way. I couldn't. It was too much. My fears, her death. Then now it was till one point I went to the store to getting something, and I was in the car and I was waiting. I wanted to drive off. And I wanted to go back, and I hear beep, 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 and I was like, what is this noise? I don't know what this noise is. And it was like, I look in my mirror and I look back and I see this old lady like, watch out, I'm here. And I was like, shit. That's the first time I saw myself in the mirror to myself, like, what are you doing? Look at yourself. Look who you become. Look. Do you want to drive over this little lady? No, I don't want this. But it's like it's because you're a zombie. It's like it, but it's not me. It's my addiction that is doing this. And I saw, like, no, I don't want this. This is not what my aunt wanted it for me, like living like this and grieving, not grieving, of course grieving, but like punishing myself and feeling bad and just, yeah, medicating myself. And it's like, what will I do? Will I do this the rest of my life? Will I stop and go on with my life again? And that's where I changed. Yeah, that's where I saw, like, this is not me. This is my addiction. This is all these pills. This is because I'm so tired and I'm suff. I don't know how I say it in English. This is, I was just like a zombie state, not aware, not present, not looking around. I didn't even know what is but my parking sensor was in a car, so how bad is that? It's so dangerous to drive around, so it's like, what? It was a wake-up call, like, no, this has to be done. And for me it was done. It was like, no, I don't want this. I'm going further with life. I could see, like, okay, I can't help, I couldn't save my aunt, so it's time for me to help myself. That's what I can do. So I changed my focus from the past and what I did and for what I didn't do and what I blamed and I felt guilty, to like the future. At that point I wasn't aware of the now yet. I was just process of. So for me it was like, okay, I'm going to the future. So what is I'm going to do now? It's like, okay, I have my breasted, I didn't have a breast, so I started with my breast reconstruction, and after the breast reconstruction the plan was to go to work again and just go to my old life again. But yeah, I just saw at that point, yeah, this is not me, this is my addiction. And I could see, like, yeah, I don't want this. And I was, when I say something like, okay, this is it, I don't want to do it anymore, I just did it. For me that was enough. It was really my lowest point, and like in that process then but I could see, like, holy shit, I need to change, I need to do something else, because I can't go on like this. And I stopped with all the pills and sleeping pills. And okay, it wasn't easy at first because your body is used to it and you can sleep and it's asking. But my will to stop was so much bigger, and I just quitted it all. No. So yeah, I just wanted to share this part, because it's because I saw my aunt, her process in the hospital, that I could see that doctors can't always help us. And yeah, I couldn't see that at that point, but I can see that that was a huge, because of that I could change in my journey to go to myself and not with the treatment, because I saw how it worked. It was like treatment to treatment to treatment, and then if it didn't work anymore, you could go home and die, like with aunt. And afterwards she was like 1 month, and then she was dead. And I didn't want to wait till the doctor said to me, you can go home and die. I wanted to find something when I had the energy, when I had that my body still was not destroyed by all the chemotherapy, and I just wanted to start my journey at the beginning and not at the end, when they say we don't have anything for you. So that's what my aunt did, or helped me to do, and I'm so grateful for her. I know it wasn't a choice, but it just helped me so much in a way. So yeah. Well, thank you. Bye bye.